guys, it is me, SearingSorrow, and I'm back with another Batch Fanfiction reading, and today, okay, now remember the last time where I said, that Chapter 4 was the last episode of Sonic X Seinfeld? Well, actually, I lied, because apparently there was another chapter that was updated, and, yeah, and thanks to the person who made me aware of this particular thing, and apparently this story is actually supposed to be like over 50 chapters or something, so oh boy, we are in for a long ride. Considering whenever next updates end up showing up. Anyway, here's chapter 5. And then I say to the guy, "Ooga booga, go back to Africa." Kramer slammed his hands together on the counter and let out a bellow of laughter. Looking unamused, the black street vendor looked him behind the counter, replied, "Sir, all I asked is if you wanted a pickle with your hot dog. You didn't have to tell me your story and about how you were a racist to cancer patient at the children's hospital. If you're talking about the Dell Children's Hospital, well, we're calling the cops." And also, that isn't the Great Western Way. Yeah, I went there. Yeah, I totally went there. Yes, I did. Don't worry, boy, it's complimentary. I know your people love free handouts, but for your information, I'm no racist. I'm a race realist, retorted Kramer. Right, look, man, do you want a pickle with your dog or not? Kramer coughed. This looks like a Chicago to you, boy. Why don't you add sesame seeds while you're at it? He's like some people who are like at you like, add some seasoning on your fried chicken. He looked to the side and gave a quick chuckle with his throat, but while the vendor stared at him blankly. But yes, actually, I would like a pickle, thanks. He paid for the hot dog and carried it all the way to the church where the funeral was being held. He hadn't taken a single bite. It was almost as if he had forgotten he had even purchased and was carrying the thing, until Jerry looked at him and asked, "You're not bringing that thing in, are you?" Kramer paused and looked at Jerry before plainly asking, "What thing?" "The hot dog." "Oh yeah, this thing." Save for some ketchup that smeared onto the front of his white button-up shirt, Kramer managed to swallow the hot dog whole, bun, topping, and all, casually dusting his hands off afterwards. Wow! Oh my god, dude! You are just nuts! Bro, you are wild. Everyone watching had a strong reaction to the sight. George seemed simply impressed, but most of the others were merely disgusted. Sonic trained his eyes on Kramer, staring at him longingly. The Gothic architecture of the church stuck out against the modern style of the city around it, like a short old man at the bar amongst a sea of college kids, still flirting aggressively with passers-by, making everybody really uncomfortable, but none willing to confront him. Even entering one could clearly see the interior was abound, with more wood. Some smooth and well lacquered, but still more rough and rotting, composing the stairs, the eaves, and the walls, floor of the upper story. Wow. The gang took their seats among the other mourners and prepared to hear words on behalf of the departed. George nudged Jerry with his elbow and pointed at the sign atop the closed casket. "Jerry, am I going crazy, or does that sign say in memory of Lardon Johnson?" Jerry focused on the sign to read for himself, but as soon as he did, he tried to repress a laugh, muffling it through a sharp nasal snicker, after which he and George burst into fits, trying to contain their laughter with as much dignity as possible, but mostly failing. That's basically me when I'm reading, when I'm in a class, and before a class I'm reading a fanfiction, and there's a funny part, and I'm covering my mouth trying to stop myself from laughing out loud. I've had those moments actually. Or reading any funny part in a book or something, and I just cover my mouth just to prevent myself from laughing loudly, because yeah. If you probably came around my channel for if you've been around my channel for, probably ever since nearly the beginning or something, you know how loud I am. You're right, okay? But, wow. And also, that's me with, reading really hilarious bad fanfiction, and then, it just goes down. The sign did did indeed read Larium instead of Landon. George, of course, informed the whole crew, and none of them could keep from giggling either. Not even Mizzolini. Mizzolini. Excuse me. They were, in fact, still cackling by the time the first of the bereaved got up and speak. What do you say about Landon? He was Landon! At this, the gang laughed more audibly, and the woman speaking ran off, embarrassed. The next speaker stood up and declared, "Here lies Landon Johnson, the biggest booty who ever lived." What a douche! Oh my god! This is fantastic, yo! Oh my gosh, this is wild. The funeral was beginning to feel more and more like a comedy club by the minute. I can already tell. Oh my god. It must be a serious comedy show. I mean, that's every bad fanfiction. It's a comedy show. And even more hilarious fanfics, which I'm actually in high consideration of reading, would be comedy shows. Now the entire crowd was giddy from the abundant comedy and slow roasting of the departed. The next woman who stood up spoke with a stutter. Did he not feel pain when he was hurt? I mean, did he not? Crap! Did he not? Dreesh? He was only human, but yes, he was chicken and Winnigans. Yeet! A single person amongst the crowd stood up and began slowly clapping. Nobody joined him, and after about 10 seconds of awkward, lone clapping, he sat back down. Tails leaned over to Jerry and asked quietly, "Is this a normal funeral? It seems very disrespectful to the dead." "Don't worry," replied Jerry. "Landon was a nerd as a bit and bitch, and he's getting the respect he deserves, which is none." Oh, roast! Oh, what a roast! Oh my god, yo, what a roast! Where's my tea? Knuckles replied, "Why are we even here? Why are we here then? Why are you ever best friends with him?" "Well, we're here for 2 reasons. First, because we were invited, and if you start saying no to the party invitations, people will stop inviting you. And second, because of free refreshments." Oh, you want the refreshments, don't you? You better get your butts to the refreshment lady that's way up on the, just a few blocks from you. And let's hope the train that she takes does not leave your arches behind, because y'all remember that chiz, when Peter Sam, the narrow gauge engine, just accidentally left the refreshment lady behind. What a history. I've actually seen that episode before. Peter Sam and the refreshment lady. Damn. Jerry gestured over to a table full of finger food and drinks, where Kramer was pouring a flask into a punch bowl. "We were friends with Landon because his dad works for Nintendo." Reggie from Nintendo could be seen a few rows in front of him, and with the other people in expensive looking suits. The crowd dispersed from their seats. "Jerry! Jerry!" Kramer hobbled over to Jerry at the buffet table and uncrumpled a piece of paper. "Jerry, someone handed me this note." "What note? What does it say?" "It says, meet me upstairs." Meet. M-E-A-T. Meet. That's a pretty weird sentence. Why would spell out meat and then repeat it? That's a good question. That's a really good question. I'm already having questions already. Kramer stared blankly at Jerry for a moment before replying. "No, I see. I added the part. It was just saying meet me upstairs. I was just pointing out that they said meat, you know, like the food." "Oh, now y'all want me. Y'all are gonna get the vegans pissed now." You're gonna get the vegans pissed. That'll be hilarious. I've actually seen like people do like why I hate vegans videos, and they're hilarious. Some could be completely satire, and then there are ones that are just downright brutally honest, but regardless, they're hilarious to watch. Not seriously, I live for comedy on that one. "Ah, yeah, this is weird." Jerry played it off cool, but his scrotum shriveled as he suppressed tears, realizing how stupid he was for not realizing Kramer hadn't just read the note verbatim. Excuse me. Thoughts of suicide re-entered his mind. "What do you think it means?" "Well, I was thinking it could be a euphemism or something." "Are you crying?" "Oh my God, yo!" Jerry suppressed a sob, then let out a high-pitched, "No!" He swallowed heavily. "I think you should go and check it out. This party is kind of a bummer. Could use any kind of excitement, you know?" "Yeah, I agree. Who would have thought a funeral could be such a downer?" "I'm sorry? Are you kidding me? Like, I'm calling the cops." "Hello, 911? Yes, I'd like to report a crime. Yes, apparently there's some people here that you know, they're just like complaining that a funeral is a downer. Yes, thank you. Bye." "All right, the cops are on the way." Okay, Kramer made his way to the dilapidated-looking staircase. Running his palm through the railing, it was immediately apparent that this was a type prone to splinter, so he took care to be extra gentle. This sensation of the wood, along with the dull creak of the stairs under his weight and his sudden distance from the clutter of the gathering, fostered an atmosphere of the contemplation for him, and his mind raced at first about what awaited him at the top of the staircase, but quickly beyond and about the decision he had made in his life. He became pensive. Is he going into a pensive? No, just kidding. And determined to better himself at his nearest convenience. He reached the top of the stairs, and there was a shift in the air. Ever so slight, but impossible to ignore. Exactly. You get those moments to where, you know, something in the air just shifts, or something in the atmosphere just takes a shift. I mean, it may be slight, but still, it's like you can't ignore the chiz out of it because weird stuff happens, and you're like, bro, what's going on? I know, we've all been there. We've all been there, alright? It was warmer, but there was an odor where the staircase smelled dead and empty. There was clearly a living beast with a beating heart nearby now, not stirring but waiting patiently. Ew, now you mean like, oh, it smells like somebody died here! From Star Wars: The Clone Wars. Why do I remember that show? So, I mean, I know, right? That show was Litville. Oh, wow. Kramer was in a clearing with benches against the walls to either side of him, and a doorway in front. He stepped forward and casually pushed to the door open. Oh boy, so we got a bit of a cliffhanger there. Oh boy, so whenever chapter 6 is ready, we'll be ready to read that chiz. But anyway, hope you guys enjoy that, and I will see you guys in another Bad Fanfiction episode. Bye guys! Bye guys!